Hi guys. One, gonna apologize for the appearance. It was raining. I took a shower, and this is what you're getting tonight. Um, I decided to talk Maryland tonight because it's just some y'all have got on Beyonce's internet and started acting a fool, and um, I want to say something about it because I want to say something about it because I can, and mostly because like I can. You know what I mean? Like I can say something about it. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Um, I look crazy and I don't care. I wish I did care, but I just don't. Cause what you gonna do about it? Um, I did get on a space. Shout out to Guru. We got on the Twitter space after the game, and we talked Maryland. I'm trying to. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. So we talked Maryland on Twitter space. Shout out to Guru for the invite to Twitter space where we talked Maryland. But y'all are losing your minds. You are literally losing your minds over this game. And the statement that I see floating around that's getting all the clicks is one where Coach Loxley, let me just, I don't even want to misquote what people have written. I know you guys are going to write. You've got to write. Although you guys are going to write, you've got to write, but nobody can watch what we did today and feel like it's the same old Maryland. This one's from Harrison Rich is the first one I've come across. I was about to quote tweet and I was like, mm, let's not. Um, and there's some other people that quoted the same type of the same statement that Coach Loxley made during his press conference this evening or tonight. And I want to say, if you can watch that tape and see the team, he said this team is the same old Maryland team. If you watch that tape and see that, then you might have to kind of reevaluate some things. Now, he didn't say it not being the same outcome that you're used to, because all of you seem to be used to losing in the fourth quarter. That's what you're all saying online. That's how you all feel. Um, but this is about the team. And I really want to apologize to these players because they do not deserve for the fans to be this way. Because when they're winning, everyone loves them. They want to hug them. They want this. They want to just love on them. And when these tough games happen, in games that no one thinks they're going, like, sorry, a lot of people don't think they're going to win this game or some of these matchups, especially in the Big Ten, right? Um, you could look at the spreads, the money lines, whatever it is that tells you Maryland is not favored to win these games. This team, we've said it over and over again, is so young and so new. And every single week, I really cannot sit here and say they can't compete because they have the talent. They have the talent to compete. And I love what Jalen Husky said about it's not coaching. Our coaches instill discipline and not and all of the things that contribute to them making penalties on the field. They talk about that. They coach us. They show us the film. They do all the things necessary to ensure we know better than to commit these penalties on the field. So when I hear people keep stabbing at the fact that there's always penalties. There's penalties here, there's penalties there. There's been penalties for years. What football team in America doesn't have penalties? In America, silly ones, game changing ones, things that will cost you a game, whether you want to admit it or not. Where does that not happen in America? Every team has gone through that. So it is truly about the individuals on the field. So if you think it is every coach's desire to have his team go out there and be undisciplined, like today, I'm coming in here and I'm teaching you how to be undisciplined. Like, really? You think that's what they're doing in Maryland? Huh? Okay. Um, so I went down the rabbit hole and I decided to look at the matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and bookmark it just because I can. Should I share my screen? Should I share my screen or just read it out loud? I don't want y'all like going to attack people or nothing. But I think it's a good idea to just go and see what y'all are saying online and show the people what y'all are saying online. That team to me looks good given them not having the full roster of kids, them having transfers and freshmen, the number of 64 of those guys that were new to this team and this program. And to be in the fights the way they've been in the fights, you have to be proud. Like you have to see so many great things on film from this team and the promise. And with a freshman quarterback at helm on the offense, you loved him before he even took a snap. You loved him after he took the first snap, the second game snap, the third game. You loved him. Oh, we are so back. Some of you said Maryland football is back. Oh my gosh, Malik Washington, this, Malik Washington, that, and now I was waiting for it. I was waiting for this right here. I was like, when is it going to be the first loss? Is it going to be the second loss? Because it's really hard to go undefeated in the college football season. There ain't that many teams left undefeated. So this team is doing to me very well given where they are in their maturity. This is the most the points they've allowed all season. Last week was 24. This week is 34. 3 takeaways. The defense is capable. Special teams. They've had really great special team moments. This week, not so much. They got to tackle better. That's fixable. Penalties. That's fixable. Offensively, drawing up plays where they can move the ball on the ground better, also fixable. Also, you have to do what the defense allows you to do. So it's not Madden or whatever you guys play at home. I don't play. But they have the talent. This is not a team where you have a question mark, a significant question mark, I should say, as position. If anything's question is just how they continue to gel. And I think they are gelling. And it's beautiful to watch. And I'm not gonna let none of y'all and y'all emotional feelings because you've been around here so many years and you just can't seem to get over the hump. Because every team is different. And this team to me is just super talented and they want to win. And if you can't find a way to get behind it, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. If okay, well don't watch. Like don't watch. Like just get behind these kids regardless. And if you have personal issue with their coach, get over that too. Cuz he's here. And it probably behooves you to just stay behind it and be quiet. Because when I say be quiet, I mean you don't have to be negative. I just feel like that doesn't help. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help these kids. It doesn't help anything. Maybe it makes you feel good at night knowing that you went online and said something crazy. Anyway, let me get to some of these comments that I saw online. Hopefully, no one is up late watching this. Okay, hold on. How do I share my screen? I don't typically share my screen. This is the one that was funny to me because this is in reference to the, if you watched and saw the same old Maryland team comment that my coach Loxley made during his presser today. And this gentleman, I don't know if y'all can see, Jordan said, you purposely scheduled a weak non-conference schedule to stack wins and get your precious 6-win threshold to get to some bleep bowl game. You lost in Big Ten play. Yes, it's the same old Maryland. So, because Google's free, I Googled I Googled this and I was like, let me see here. Is it true? Is it true? I don't know what's going on with me. But is it true that Mike Loxley scheduled this year's games so that he can get his 6 wins and be miserable at a bowl game? At a bleep bowl game. Google. Can a college football coach make up their schedule? Google, because Google's free. Maybe Google be lying, but let me just tell you what Google said. Google said, no, college football coaches do not have full control over their schedules, but they have significant input, especially for non-conference games. Conference games are determined by the conference itself, while the athletic director typically schedules non-conference opponents with input from the coach. These non-conference games are often set years in advance through multiple agreements between schools. Let me read that last sentence one more time. These non-conference games are often set years in advance through mutual agreements between schools. So you telling me years ago he said, you know what? When I get Malik Washington out of Spalding in a couple of years, I want to make sure that we got Northern Illinois, FAU. Yeah, put FAU at the top. Actually, let me make that an easy one. And I want to play Towson. Let's go ahead on the road to Nebraska next. Shut up, Jordan. Sorry. I'm not sorry, but like I didn't have to say shut up. I could, Jordan, be quiet. So yeah, ciao. This is a rant. This is about the Terps. I don't want to make it about me, but it's really about the Terps because like, what are y'all doing? They have talent, and again, Nebraska wasn't letting people pass and complete passes all over him, and they did today. They got passed on today. Malik had another 200-yard game. How was your quarterbacks game to game? Were they throwing 200+ yard games on a regular basis? No. Yes, no, maybe. I know it's about wins and losses, but I just really, and I'm not getting into the details of everything because it's late and I'm just tired. I'm like thoroughly exhausted. But if I dig longer, I can. I'm just through. You know. Shout out to these guys. It's really about these men, these young men that, and shout out to Jalen Husky because I had to ask because y'all, they were really trying to get Locks. I don't know if you were trying to get him to crash out on the penalty thing as if he is preaching to them to commit crimes, commit penalties, like to go out there and act like you don't know how to play the game. These are the rules. I didn't make the rules up. These are the rules. You've been playing football for how long? You don't know the rules? You can't do that. You can't put your hands there. You can't play after the whistle. You don't think they know that? So anyway, the way these questions are shaded is if he in his whole career and at this particular establishment is trying to have a team that doesn't have any discipline, like on purpose. That don't even make sense. That makes no sense. Um, and so when I see coaches crash out in press conferences, I don't even be mad at them because I'm like, I be internally crashing out because like, what do you want him? What could he possibly say? Like, look, I tell these kids, we go over this, we watch film. You are not supposed to do that. If they go and do it, if I went over, if I look, we saw this in the NFL. Like if I went over there and punched him in the chest, you would, you would be in trouble. What do you want the man to do when the kids that committed penalties on the field? What you want him to do? What can he do? They don't have the depth. Do you want him to bench the kid? They don't even have the depth for that. And oh, Lord knows if he benched a star player because he got a penalty, you guys would be calling for his head then. What do you want him to do besides quit? Because clearly you want him to quit. I don't know. But I'm praying for these young men because I really like what I see. I'm gonna be positive now because I like what I saw. And yes, they did not come away with the win. They have 2 losses this season. They're about to go on the road from UCLA. Yes, UCLA is playing really good. There is absolutely nobody on the schedule that I do not think this team can match up with. The defense had 3 takeaways. What old boy didn't have? How many? He had 2 interceptions on the season. Now he has 5. And I could have made that up. Let me just double check. I thought I saw that he had 2 interceptions coming into this game. Now he has 5. But let me see. Let me ask Google. Why can't I type? How many interceptions does he have this year? Let's see. So he had 2 going into this game. Tonight he had 3. He had 3. He had more in his what 4 or 5 games prior interceptions. He had 2 in 5 games, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 games. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5. Hold on. No, 4. Sorry. 4 games prior to meeting with Maryland, he had 2 interceptions. They played, was that Arkansas, HCU, Michigan, and Michigan State. He threw an interception in the Michigan game and the Michigan State game. He has 3 against the Maryland defense. If that is not showing you something or telling you something, then what? I'm yelling. I'm tired. But it's important. It's important to me that I just get it out. I was supposed to get something out last week, but I decided to not. Um, because this defense, up until last week, hasn't really played all 4 quarters of football game. But that's they have to figure that out. But it's also something that you don't really highlight. And you can say, and I hear y'all saying, oh, in the fourth quarter, you've given up X amount of points. Well, the last two games was been 31. Okay. These are the two fourth quarters the starting defense has actually been in there for. Did they make an improvement from last week in the fourth quarter? They actually did. Believe it or not, you may not want to admit it, but they did. That was an improvement. But we still lost. They my opinion, technically, they improved. They allowed less points in the fourth quarter than they did the week before. Yes. Can they improve? Yes. Did they improve from last week? Yes. But whatever. Instant satisfaction is not there. So therefore, no one cares. I think I'm done though. I don't care. Like the fans can be upset. Like fans that are going to fan and they're going to be miserable and they're going to be mad and they're going to be upset and they're going to, let a win or a loss impact them emotionally. But if you truly love football and you love the growth and the development of college football, then you absolutely understand this is a really good team. And they have to figure out a way to win close games. They know that. They know that. You think they walk around and is like, let's go in here and lose today, guys. Let's do it. Like, whatever. They don't have that attitude. These are like true competitors. They coming out to win the game. And I'm excited to see them go on the road and hopefully get that win. I don't care. Like if you're off the bandwagon or whatever wagon you were in, but yeah, Locks has to be careful. Let me say something. Uh, Locks have to be careful. Finding it. I'm finding it. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. You never know who's listening. If you don't think Coach Loxley understands what's at risk, cool. But he went in and did things like what's that saying? If you continue to do the same thing and expect different results, that is the definition of what? Insanity. And I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna be like, well, we keep losing close games. That's the definition. No, what I'm saying is this man has brought you in new coaches. You have a complete turnover, brought in transfer talent, brought in a bunch of freshmen. Like I said, got you new head coaches, relinquish play calling duties, doing different things to do whatever he can to get different. Have a freshman starting doing whatever he can to make it make sense, do something different to get these different results. And I think it's working. It's not showing up in that fourth quarter of these Big Ten matchups right now, but it's gotten better than last week. It's gotten better than last week, and they have something. They have something here. And for him to say that in the press conference, he saw it. Yes, it's a loss, but he can see this team that I didn't really know in the spring, summertime if we were going to be mature enough to handle moments like this. If we were going to be mature enough to even be in the fight this way, if we could come back from being down 2 scores. I'm not sure in the spring if this team was what he saw today. That's where that came from. I don't give a okay. You see where I'm going with this. It doesn't matter what another team looks like. It matters what this team does. And there's not a team on the schedule. There's not one team on the schedule that I don't think this defense can make study and respect what they put on the field. And I'm not this is not me bashing the offense at all, but this defense helps set the tone for so much. And there's not a team on the remaining schedule that anyone should be like, "Oh, we're gonna get trampled over." If it happens, it happens, but I don't look at that schedule and see any of that. So, I'm gonna leave it there because if I keep going, I might see a comment. But I do appreciate you actually listening and commenting and stuff like that. But I just feel like you need to calm down, let them go out to UCLA, uh, and let's have a conversation after UCLA. I think this was great. They're going to learn from this tape, and shout out to Malik Washington for continuously leaving everyone with the word, and letting his faith drive the boat in uncertain times or adverse times. Too much pressure on the defense. Let me say something. I live in Maryland. I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Are you talking about too much pressure on the defense? What did I used to, what's that saying? Defense wins championships. Please. Please. This defense is special. This defensive unit is special. And the offense is going to get it together. They'll figure it out. Um, but the defense is it. That the pressure needs to be on the defense. There's so much talent there. Like, how could you just disregard the fact that this defense is loaded with talent? And when I say loaded, the starters, I'm not saying the guys that aren't starters, but because they still lack that depth. I don't want to say they're loaded and then still tell you that they don't have the depth. Imagine if they had the depth on this defense. They have so much talent on defense that the pressure should never be too big for them because they have what it takes to continuously put the ball back into Malik Washington's hands. So they know that. They feel that. They have that um kind of air about them. They know what they're capable of. And I'm not gonna sit here and let someone say that they have too much pressure on them to make plays. No, 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 and no. Absolutely not. So anyway, and the week before they had a 16 play drive. 16 play drive last week. Not I don't know what the longest play drive was today, but 16 play drive, that is a priest. That is beauty. That is freaking beauty right there. And another thing we have to understand, like, we're weeks in. You think teams that coming in here and they haven't watched film on Malik Washington and they haven't watched film on the offensive line and they haven't seen when Malik does this, that, and the third, these things happen. Do you think they haven't done these things? So are things going to get a little bit more difficult for Malik? Yes, they are. And it's expected. It's anticipated. So anyway, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think Dylan had a great game. And um Daniel Wingate, yes, he is a star. There's so many stars on this defense. I really think you guys need to just take a breath, a breather, appreciate what you have. I'm telling you right now, you don't appreciate these players, and you don't appreciate the players because you don't appreciate the coach at all. And the fact that mm, anyway, I'm just going to just appreciate these players because they are so talented And I really want you to be along for the maturity and the growth of these individuals. Because if you continue to fan this way, why would someone want to stay here? Why would someone want to get online and see you talking this way and be comforted in the fact that these are the fans that I'm supposed to be out here, playing for? Can't we just be respectable humans too? Like, is that hard? I guess it's difficult. Child. I don't know. But just acknowledge the talent on this team. Just please, 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 please. Because you are going to, at some point, wish, and as these guys develop and move on and go to hopefully professional teams, if that's their dreams and aspiration, you're gonna say, "Dang, that kid was good. He did this when like." You just appreciate, because these are superbly talented kids. And guess who got them here? Coach Loxley. You think any coach that was just sitting around could have gotten here? Sure, whatever. But he got them here. For some reason, they believed in him enough to come out here and play for him. I'm going to leave it there. You got an improvement from the week before, like it or not, in the fourth quarter. Like it or not. You still got to score in the fourth, though. We got to work on this. We got to get better with that, right? There's still some improvement to be made. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see them at UCLA. And our environment, I wish I could go to UCLA, but I have a schedule conflict, so I won't be able to do that. But super excited to see the evolution of this team. We don't have a whole lot of seniors, but the seniors that are on this team are taking this joint to heart, and you love to see it. And you freaking love to see it, because there's so much youth. Oh man, I'm excited to see how Locks makes that jump from this year to that year, and to see the kids that commit to come here and see how that roster expands from not having the depth to having that depth. I was talking to the math kids today. I was like, "Y'all want to come here?" They was like, "Yeah, yeah." So you have kids that are excited to come to Maryland and play. And if you didn't think that game was exciting to sit there and watch, it was. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to do more online and have conversations, because I don't like a lot of the narratives. And I've sat back. I've sat back just about every week and digested. I know I'm the new kid on the block, so I have sat back and watched and listened. And ultimately, I had to wait for Maryland to lose just to see. I had an idea what it would look like, or what would be said, or the angles that would be approached. But now that they have a couple losses under their belt, I'm like, all right, cool, bet, let's go. Everybody's happy. You don't have anything. You don't have a whole lot bad to say when they're winning. So I had to wait for them to lose to really be like, okay, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's rock. Let's rock. Let's roll. And let's really have a conversation about what's on tape. And the reality is, they improved from last week. Like it or not, right about that. Have a good day, y'all.